Have you ever heard about the night when Somali pirates surrounded a U.S. Navy fuel ship at 3:30 in the morning and almost caused the biggest non-nuclear explosion in modern history? Well, this unbelievable event happened in the dark waters of the Gulf of Aden. So, what do you think happened that day? On the 16th of September, 2025, the sea near Somalia was very calm, and the U.S. Navy fleet tanker named USNS Guadalupe was moving quietly. It was carrying more than 8 million gallons of jet fuel for a nearby U.S. aircraft carrier, K Group. The ship was doing a normal supply mission, and no one was expecting any danger at that moment. But in that darkness, there were 30 fast boats filled with heavily armed Somali pirates. They began racing through the water at high speed. Well, let me tell you, these pirates were not ordinary fishermen. They were trained fighters, organized, and well-armed with AK-47 rifles, RPG-7, rocket launchers, and heavy machine guns. Their leader was Khalid Kadar Abdul Rahman. Yes, the one who built the violent empire along the Somali coast. His plan was not random. He studied the routes, chose the time to attack, and sent his fighters toward the tanker. He thought he could just capture it or destroy it before the U.S. Navy could do anything. But he made one mistake. Well, a big one, I would say. He did not understand what it meant to attack a ship with the United States flag. At 3:30 in the morning, the USS Laboon, which was assisting the tanker, was cruising nearby. On the ship's radar, the sailors saw something strange. Well, at first, the dots looked like fishing boats. But soon, they understood the truth. The group of signals was moving too fast, too straight, and too neatly. It was 30 speedboats, and it was all going toward one target. Yes, the USNS Guadalupe. Captain Michael Harris knew the danger right away. The tanker was carrying more than 8.2 million gallons of jet fuel. If even one rocket hit the wrong part of the ship, it could explode with the power of 30,000 pounds of TNT. Alarms rang across the laboon, and red lights flashed. The captain gave the order to get ready for battle, and everyone on the ship knew they were only seconds away from a fight that could change everything. At 4:20 in the morning, the pirates began their assault. They were moving at a speed of almost 40 knots. They came in like a fast-moving swarm and surrounded the tanker from every side. The first RPG was fired by the pirates, and it hit the back of the tanker. It tore through the steel and started a fire. The crew moved fast and put the fire out, but the warning was clear. Another RPG flew toward the USS Laboon and missed its bridge by only 8 feet. The windows broke, and 4 sailors were cut by glass and tiny pieces of metal. Everything was getting intense at that point. On the deck, bullets flew in all directions, and 2 gunners were badly burned by an explosion. But both kept fighting. The U.S. Navy fired back with full power. Soon, the cruiser USS Cape St. George arrived after getting the distress call. It fired with sharp accuracy, using 20mm guns and thousands of rounds in just minutes. Several pirate boats blew up. Well, in the first 30 minutes, 3 pirate boats were totally destroyed. But they were not ready to stop there. They kept attacking in waves with everything they had. The sun started to rise, and the water was covered with burning fuel, broken pieces of boats, and bodies floating in the waves. More than 20 pirates were already dead or hurt, and 2 American sailors were injured. But the pirates still kept going. Skiffs were moving toward the tanker, and one skiff even tried to crash into the ship, but was cut in half by a burst of .50 caliber. Refire. Another pirate shot an RPG from 200 yards away, but it blew up in the water. They fought with focus and more discipline. Now, they knew that even one mistake could blow up the whole tanker and kill everyone near it. But the battle showed something scary. These pirates were not just a small group of criminals. Yes, they were fighting like a paramilitary force on the water, and this changed everything. By around 5:10 in the morning, the pirates were still gathering again for another attack. They had already shot more than 20,000 bullets in less than an hour, and Captain Michael Harris knew he could not win the fight with only the ship's weapons. He needed help from the air and from the ground. So he sent an urgent call asking for reinforcements. The alarm was heard at Camp Lemon in Djibouti, the only permanent U.S. base in Africa. Drones were sent out first, and MiQ-9 Reaper Drive. One started scanning the sea and the coastline. 3 Ch-47 Chinook helicopters were made ready to carry Navy SEAL teams with night vision, rifles, and explosives. 3 AH-64E Apache attack helicopters were loaded with Hellfire missiles and 30mm cannons. The fight was about to get into a whole new level that time. Yes, now the fight was not just about defending the tanker. It was about finding where the pirates came from and ending their whole operation. Soon, the drones showed something shocking on the Somali coast near a place called Ba. There was a huge, strong pirate base. It had warehouses filled with weapons, and many more boats were ready to launch. They had a giant pile of more than 15 tons of weapons and fuel. The leader, Khalid Kadar Abdul Rahman, had spent more than $40 million buying Russian and Chinese weapons to make his network stronger. This was a secret army hiding on the shore. The U.S. Navy decided to attack the pirate base before another strike. The plan was simple but dangerous. They were planning to stop the pirates at sea and then send forces to destroy the base on land. By 8 a.m., the sky over the Somali coast started to get bright. 3 Chinook helicopters were flying, each carrying the Navy SEALs. Above them, Apache helicopters circled like hawks and were ready to attack any danger, anytime. From the sea, the USS Leon fired a shell at a fuel depot at the edge of the pirate base. The explosion was so huge that the 40,000 gallons of diesel fuel burst into a fireball. The SEALs landed and rushed forward. They broke into the warehouses and found crates of Chinese rifles, Iranian mortars, and thousands of rounds of ammunition. In one room, they found 6 hostages, including 2 American merchant sailors. Well, they were chained and beaten, but the pirates fought fiercely. RPGs shot through the air, and one rocket even exploded 20 meters from the SEALs. A truck with a heavy machine gun fired non-stop, but it was destroyed by an Apache helicopter. The SEALs kept moving through the base, destroying boats, trucks, and fuel tanks. They planted explosives inside the weapons depot, and the entire warehouse was crushed flat within seconds. By 8:45 in the morning, the fight on land was almost over. More than 18 pirates had been killed, 12 were captured, and the rest ran in different directions. Chinook helicopters got ready to leave. The smoke that has been produced could be seen for miles over the ocean. The raid had destroyed the center of the pirate operation, and it was no longer only about saving one tanker. It was about sending a message to anyone who thought they could attack American ships without punishment. But information found inside the compound showed something even more frightening. Yes, the banking records showed transactions worth more than $50 million that linked the pirates to networks in Yemen, Iran, and Africa. This proved that the pirates were not acting by themselves. They were being supported and armed by powerful groups with dangerous plans. This was a more serious threat than anyone expected. By 4:30 in the afternoon, the Gulf of Aden was calm again. Yes, the huge battle that started with Somali pirates racing toward a tanker ended with their whole empire destroyed. Yet, many Somali pirates were killed, and even more Somali pirates were captured. 12 large warehouses filled with weapons were destroyed. The U.S. Navy had some injuries but no deaths. Well, this was a major victory. So what do you think about this terrifying battle? Do you believe pirate groups will rise again? Do you think a bigger enemy might use them in the future? Comment your thoughts in the comment section below.